friends. Hoping that this kind of resolves a little bit. My background is going to be a little bit noisy because they're doing some construction just outside my window. And so that's not anything that I can change no matter where I go in the space. So I hope it's not too loud. I hope you can still hear me. But hi, happy Friday. Welcome. Welcome to another Lunchtime Live. It is 2:10 p.m. here in New York City. We're on Eastern Standard Time. Let me know if you are joining us live. Hi, Emmy Katz is here. Welcome. You can hear me. Thank you so much. I am home. I went to my daughter's school. They had a multicultural day, so an opportunity to celebrate your background, your heritage. So, dressed in a similar outfit like my daughter, except my daughter's dress has a Jamaican flag on it. This is the Kelly green part of our Jamaican flag. Kind of. So, this is what the flag looks like. This is our Jamaican flag. And I was volunteering in the classroom. I was volunteering in the classroom. They had a potluck. So I was one of the parents who volunteered to be in the classroom to help to serve and to just, assist the kids with any challenges, any concerns, and to clean up when they were done and just kind of assist with that. So I was there for a little bit, and I I wanted to, well, they invited, not asked, they invited people to wear clothes that would represent their culture. So I wanted to do that. So been having a good day so far. My cozy little library is here. Hi. So that's how my day is going. Um, so my daughter's class is really big. There are over 30 children in the room, and the class sizes are huge for first graders. So they invited people to bring in dishes. You had to register, or they asked you to register in advance, let them know what you were planning to contribute, and a few general rules. Don't bring anything that has tree nuts, especially anything with pork. Needs to be labeled, and specifically labeled that it has pork in it. But also, when you registered on the website, on the school website, they wanted you to list the ingredients in the item that you were going to make if you're going to make something at home. So my question for my daughter was, what can I make that is Jamaican food that you will eat? That list is very short. So I made some fried dumplings. I call them festival. Um, it's just like a fried dough, and it's nice. It's both sweet and savory because there's a little savory things and a few sweet things. And so it's not quite a fried dumpling, which we call Johnny cakes. This one is a festival because it's a little sweeter, and we usually eat it with fish. But I wasn't buying fish for 31st graders who probably wouldn't eat more than a morsel. So I was just bringing the festival. Um, so it's a little bit of a challenge because they're inviting you to bring things that represent your culture. But the truth is that no matter where we as the parents are from, our children are being raised in America. And so for most of the time, they eat American food. They choose which part of the cuisine, which part of the culture they want to celebrate. And for my daughter, especially, she doesn't eat a lot of the Jamaican things that I would make that me and my husband enjoy. So one of the other parents was thinking exactly like me. She brought in pizza. She is not Italian. As a matter of fact, I think she is Haitian. Um, she got pizza from Domino's, and the teacher, when we were about to distribute the food, the teacher said, "Don't waste people's food. Don't waste people's money and their effort. If you don't want it, don't take it." We had the kids line up and come to the table, and they tell us what they want, and we put it in their plates. And most of the kids, most of, I think every child, I don't think there was a single child, I think every child had pizza on their plates. Some children only had pizza on their plates. There were two kinds of chicken. There was mac and cheese. There was the festival. There, somebody brought in patties. Somebody brought in a pasta dish like rasta pasta, another Jamaican favorite. Um, what else was there? There was no rice. And then, of course, the pizza. And then some other people brought a lot of dessert, kind of sweet treats. And yeah, every kid had pizza. Some kids, my daughter included, only had pizza on their plates. So if that mom hadn't brought the pizza, most of the kids would have only eaten the food that they originally took. Because one of the things that the school said is, if you don't think your child is going to eat from the potluck, or if you don't want them to eat from the potluck, you could still let them bring their lunch. And that's what some of the kids did. They pulled out their lunch boxes and they put them on the table. And there's all this food. When we were finished, it was like feeding off the 5,000 in the Bible. There was more leftovers than what we originally started with, because, and it sounds funny, but yeah, when we started, some of the dishes hadn't yet arrived. Um, but yeah, there was more food there than could feed the entire first grade. It was just our class, and most of the kids had nothing had nothing other than pizza. And when the desserts came around, they had cupcakes and cookies, Christmas sugar cookies. I don't know what the design was. I really didn't. I wasn't distributing that, so I'm not sure. But somebody brought in a huge container, one of those BJ's like dessert samplers. If you are familiar with BJ's is one of those American superstores where you could buy lots of different kinds of things, including food, but not limited to food. You could buy clothes, you could buy books, you could buy things for your car. They sell gas, petrol for your car. They sell all kinds of things at BJ's. But one of the things that they do is they sell things in bulk. So if you're having a party, you can go to BJ's and get like a big tray that has lots of different kinds of things. So you're not just stuck with just cookies or just cupcakes. You could have muffins. There were muffins, there were sugar buns, there were it's pastries, just in general, like really sweet things. Yeah, so we passed out all of those, and the kids, they had a great time. They had a great time. I think they got a double lunch session today, and they had a great time. Most of them just ate pizza and brownies. But I was talking to the mom, and she said, "Yeah, I said, are you Italian?" Because yeah, I was joking with her. She's like, "No, I know that most of these kids want pizza. You want pot. They don't want your dish from your country. They like to hear about it, but they don't. They're not gonna eat it." So she said, "My kid, he don't want that." So she brought pizza, and it was genius. So I was just thinking, next year when they do this, because they do this every year, if they do this again next year, if she's not in our class, because generally when they move the grade, they kind of switch, they shuffle up some of the kids. If that lady is not in my daughter's class next year, I'll be the one who brings the pizza. Hi, Brown Girl Reading. I was just telling everyone about the multicultural potluck that they had at my daughter's school today. They invited everyone to come in, get dressed up in something that represented your culture, and bring food from your culture to share. And one lady, she brought pizza. She said, "Listen, these kids, my kid included, they're not going to eat all of that stuff." So she brought pizza, and it was a hit. My daughter also was one of the kids who ate nothing but the pizza. It was funny. It was fun. It was a great time. It was a great time. So I was there for a couple of hours. So I missed the earlier events. So I know you were. I think you were on live today, but I didn't get a chance to do that because didn't get a chance to join because I was out with the kiddo. She was homesick yesterday. My daughter was a little under the weather. She's been having this terrible cough. So the pediatrician told us to stay home yesterday and today, but she stayed home yesterday, and as soon as she got out of the bed, she was fine. She was fine for most of the day. When it was time for bed, she started, somehow kids, they get sick again around nighttime. So last night was a little challenging, but she wanted to go to school today, so I let her. and she was fine. She was fine. I spent some time in her classroom. She was fine. She's having a little trouble, like breathing deeply because whatever the congestion, it's hurting her throat. Like, but I hope she's okay. My friend is also a pediatrician, so I've been talking to a couple of doctors, and they said, it's happening. A lot of the kids around this time are getting that same um, cough, congestion. So it is what it is. Yeah. Brown Girl Reading says, what they have in France is La Semaine du Goat. Did I say that right? Flavor of the week. The kids love it, and the point is to learn about different flavors. Oh, okay. So they try things like mustard, pepper, pickles, etc. I'm gonna check that out. That sounds like a great idea. Maybe it's something that I can introduce at home. Because um, you know, I'm one of those people who used to say kids will eat whatever you give them, but I think they have to learn how to appreciate things. And, you know, they have to learn how to appreciate things. They have to be introduced to things in a safe environment. They're probably not going to try it for the first time um, in a strange setting, too. So yeah, so they learn about what is salty, sour, sweet, etc. Yeah, I'm going to try that. I think that's a great idea. Thank you so much for sharing. And Emmy Katz, I missed her comment earlier. She said, now that I think about it, I never had mac and cheese, to be honest. Emmy Katz, you know what, you're missing out, but it's okay. There's still time. There's always time to try mac and cheese. Mac and cheese is one of those dishes where everybody probably has uh everybody probably has a variation of it. Yeah. You said gotta have. Brown Girl Reading says gotta have mac and cheese. Yeah, there's a different variation in different cultures. So when I was growing up, we would call it mac and cheese, but we didn't make, like, at home, we didn't make mac and cheese the way I eat mac and cheese now. There are some Caribbean countries where they call it macaroni pie. Like my friends from Barbados, they would say macaroni pie because when they're finished with it, it looks like a pie. They put like something on the top to make it kind of crunchy on the top, and then the inside is the gooey stuff. Macaroni pie. But southern a lot of the southern cuisine in America, the South in the United States, I think they do the soul food cooking. They do mac and cheese, right? Where they have that, like, kind of it's not quite crunchy, but it's like a au gratin top where it's browned and like a hard shell on the top. It's just cheese. It's not breadcrumbs. It's not anything. It's just cheese. You whack it, and then it's this gooey, like, stretchy, cheesy goodness inside. Yeah. Oh, Emmy, yeah. If you're lactose intolerant, you're probably not going to enjoy it. But if you can get some lactate pills and still try it. Do you make a roux or do you use eggs? Oh, that's great. So I don't. Okay, let me just disclaimer. I don't make mac and cheese very often like this because the way I like it, I don't make it like that. I like I like that one that I was just telling you about, the soul food where they make like the golden um it looks like a lasagna on top when you're done, but it's mac and cheese inside. That's the one I like, but I don't make it. I go to the store and buy it. You go to the soul food restaurants and get it. That's the best. That's the best. Yeah. The thing about the vegan cheese, though, Brown Girl Reading suggests use vegan cheese. So I have seen the vegan cheese version. When we have Christmas dinner at my cousin's house, there are quite a few people in the family who are vegetarian and vegan. So they make that vegan mac and cheese as a side. I've never, I've never really tried it. Like only when the regular mac and cheese runs out before you get to the table. But in general, I'm not a fan of some of those vegan alternatives. I would rather not do the alternatives. But if, the people who are vegetarian like it. So I think it might just be that I'm comparing it to the milk version. I don't know. But yeah, yeah, use the vegan cheese. But I would recommend that you try it from a restaurant. Like if you have somewhere where you can order it, um, if you have like a good vegetarian restaurant close by where you can order it and try it. Um, yeah, I mac and cheese. Listen, I love cheese. I love cheese. So yeah, anything that has cheese in it, I'm there. Brown Girl Reading says I don't make it often either. Sometimes at Christmas, yeah, it's definitely not when people make it with like the 4 or 5 different types of cheese. It's not something that you should be eating all the time for sure. But she says, although this Christmas I'll be making gumbo again. Now that is something that I have never had. I've seen it. I I've seen it on TV, but I don't know if I've ever seen gumbo in person. What do you make your gumbo with, Brown Girl Reading? I Yeah, I don't think I've ever had gumbo. I've not spent very much time in the south of the United States, and I don't think I've explored the culture of the South as much as I should, aside from the mac and cheese. Um, so yeah, I'd like to try gumbo. I don't eat pork though. Is there hot like pork sausage in? Is that the one that has the pork sausage? I don't eat pork. So can I get it without that? But yeah, thank you so much for you guys being on here. I'm not going to stay too long, but I did want to share a few things with you because yesterday when we were going through the list of books that the Chicago Public Library has on their best of 2025 thus far, and I think this may be their list for the year. I don't, maybe they're not going to, revise anything before the end of the year, I guess. Oh, potato salad. Yeah, okay. I could start a different conversation about potato salad. Let me talk about books for a little bit. This is supposed to be a bookish space, not a food, not my, my personal food desires. Yesterday, we were going through the list of the best of 2025 from the Chicago Public Library. And the first 60 books, it's terrible. For the first 60 books, I had read only one. I have one in progress, um, but I'd only read one book from that list. And okay, I'm going to stop for a second because Emmy has a comment that has me intrigued. In my country, she says, we have a potato salad. Basically, it's potato, some sauce, and some vegetables. What kind of sauce? She says, I don't like potatoes, so this isn't for me. Potato salad has mayonnaise and mustard. What others? And maybe a little relish. What? Maybe there's a different kind of potato salad, but potato salad is one of my favorite things to make. My mom, my mom made the best potato salad in the world. And 2 years ago, when we went to Jamaica to visit her, I asked her, I said, Mommy, can you please show me how to make this potato salad? Because I have been trying for decades. From the decades that I have left home, I have been trying to perfect her potato salad. I have not. And she made it. And I ate it. And I was like, yes, this is it. Now tell me what you did. And alas, I did not get the recipe. So I will continue to try to make my mom's potato salad. Brown Girl Reading. This is gumbo recipe. Veggies, chicken, smoked sausage, shrimp, and crabs. Okay, it's a soup and you can put all or less in it. Lots of spice. Yeah, so I don't eat shrimp. I don't eat crabs and I don't eat the sausage. So chicken gumbo, maybe chicken or vegetable gumbo. I will see. Yeah. Oh, that's okay. Yeah. Potato salad needs its own conversation. One of my favorite things in the world to eat. Give me a plate with anything on it. Put some mac and cheese, put some potato salad, and I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm just fine. All right. So back to the books. Chicago Public Library, best of 2025. We were going through the list, and I got up to page number 60 on the list, I think. We had 40 of because they have 100 books on their list, and I hadn't read many of them. Let me keep my number. Let me not broadcast my number anymore. But on the list, I saw this book, Dinner with King Tut by Sam Keene, and I was intrigued because it's a new book. It is about a subject that, we feel like we may know some things about. How rogue archaeologists are recreating the sights, sounds, and smells of taste. Sorry. How rogue archaeologists are recreating the sights, sounds, smells, and tastes of lost civilizations by Sam Keene. And it is blurbed by Ken Jennings, Jeopardy host, former Jeopardy champion, who we watch Jeopardy at home almost every day, whenever we can. Author of Lindsay Fitzharris. I'm sorry, did I say author? Author Lindsay Fitzharris, author of The Facemaker, which is a book that I read last year for BookTube Prize, was all about um, facial surgery, like facial reconstruction surgery that we now probably think of as cosmetic surgery, but how it started because of people being injured in the war, in World War One and Two, and how facial deformities would, just like change their lives for in a terrible way. And so facial reconstruction surgery was not cosmetic at all back then. It was necessary for life. And it was a fascinating book. And aside from BookTube Prize, I never really heard anybody else talk about it, but I'm intrigued because she blurbs this book. And one of the reviews from Entertainment Weekly compares this author with Oliver Sacks and Malcolm Gladwell, who's one of my favorite nonfiction writers. And so this is Sam Keene right here, young enough man. He's a New York Times best-selling author. Other books that he has written include The Ice Pick Surgeon, The Bastard Brigade, Caesar's Last Breath, The Violinist's Thumb, and The Disappearing Spoon. So I was intrigued when I saw this book. I wanted to check it out. I was thinking when I saw this book that this is something that I could buy to gift my husband. One of our traditions, we always give each other books for Christmas. Included with other things, we give each other books or bookish things. So I thought this might be a good book to buy for my husband. He's a social studies buff. He's also a social studies teacher. So I said I would get a copy from the library, check it out, and then see if I wanted to buy this for him. So I requested it from my library yesterday, and I got a notification today that it was there. So I stopped by to pick it up. So I was very excited to get this and to let you know I'm going to be reading another book from the 2025 best of list from the Chicago Public Library very soon. I also picked up this book, which is one of my 10 before the end. It's on my 10 before the end list. I had reserved it. It took a while to get here, but I got it, and it's pretty small. So I'm hoping to be able to read it pretty soon. This is a Muriel Spark, which will check off a lot of things for my reading for this year. I'm way behind on my reading goal. I had set a goal of 120 books for the year, and I've only right now I'm at book number 85. I think I've finished 85, and I have, I think, 4 books in progress. So when I finish those, I'll be close to 90. But Goodreads says I am now 20 books behind my goal. So Goodreads is suggesting that I do some things to improve my chances of meeting my goal for the year. One of those things, it didn't say it. Goodreads didn't say it, but I think it would suggest reading shorter books, and this is under 200 pages. So, I want to pick this up really soon. This is A Bachelor's by Muriel Spark. So, yeah. Yeah. Brown Girl Reading says I could make the gumbo with just chicken. Okay, I will seek out some chicken gumbo is what I'm going to do. I don't know if I should bake it. I was reading, so my daughter has this book. about the Disney princesses. It puts all the Disney princesses in one book with little characters and so on. Somebody gave it to her for her birthday. And one of the stories in there is it Tiana? Tiana, who makes the gumbo for her dad. Um, I'm not familiar with all the Disney princess movies, but I think in the story she's making gumbo, right? So yeah, I maybe that's one of the things that we will do. We will try. I'll try to see if I can get some gumbo from me and my daughter to try together, and it could be one of our taste tests, one of our new tastes, and make it something around the Disney book. Maybe I can make a video around that, a little vlog, because that's kind of bookish, right? All right, that's an idea that's gonna need a little time to percolate. Let me get back to that in a while. I also have a book to open. Hold on a second. Oh, I also got a package. This came in this morning. I forgot that it came when I was leaving home, and I saw it, and I wanted to show it to you. This is the package. It says, everything that happens to you is happening for you. Everything that happens to you is happening for you. I think this is a little bit of a psychology. Emmy says she's like 20 seconds behind because her internet disconnected. Emmy, you're 20 seconds behind. We're about to open the package. This is a new book coming from Penguin Random House. Emmy's birthday is tomorrow. Happy early birthday, Emmy. We are so excited for you too. Emmy's birthday is tomorrow. So excited. Another package. Yep, another package. So I know what the book is, but let's see what it looks like. And let's see if, because these packages that have, these packages that have the pretty packaging, sometimes they have other things that are not just the book. Sometimes it comes with a press release, sometimes a little sticker. Let's see if this book has any of that swag. It is so pretty. It's so pretty. Guided, The Secret Path to an Illuminated Life by Laura Lynn Jackson. This cover is gorgeous. And it has this matte feel to it. This is the author's picture. Laura Lynn Jackson is a teacher, speaker, and psychic medium. She currently serves as a Windbridge certified research medium and is also a certified medium. Okay, she's from Long Island. This book is blurbed by Kim Kardashian, Gwyneth Paltrow, Chelsea Handler, Gabrielle Bernstein, and Jay Shetty, and Amy Griffin. Oh, Amy Griffin is the author of The Tell, my current read. The memoir that I'm reading right now about this woman's experience with repressed memory. That's interesting. So yeah, Guided is The Secret Path to an Illuminated Life. Let's hear what it's about. Who am I really and why am I here? How are my connections to others and the world around me significant? What do these connections reveal about the magic that the universe offers? Okay. I don't necessarily believe in all of the sign theory, but I'm interested to hear what the author has to say about that subject. There's no swag in the package. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. It's just a book. It's just a book and a pretty envelope. But excited to have this and to check this out. This is a new book from Penguin Random House. I love I just love the cover. I just love the cover. There are lots of animals on the cover. There's a frog and a bird and a deer and a fox and a cardinal and a little grasshopper and a ladybug and butterfly on the back. Beautiful. Okay, we will see when we get to those. So yeah, that's what's going on. Brown girl reading says pass. Yeah, I I'm gonna check it out. I'm gonna check it out. I'm gonna see what it's about. I don't believe in the whole psychic medium stuff, but I'm gonna see what she has to say. I'm gonna see what she has to say. Book is beautiful, and if it's not for me, then I'll pass it on. I like gifting books to people who I think will appreciate them. If they're not for me, not every book is for me, and I know that going in. So I finished. I finished a book. When did I finish my book? I think I told you about it yesterday. I finished The Wright Brothers by David McCullough, and that was lovely. And I was working on finishing The Tell, but I didn't finish it yet. That's Amy Griffin. And so I didn't start anything new. Yesterday after we talked, my daughter was home and I spent most of the day with her. And then in the evening, she wasn't feeling great. So I spent most of the evening trying to get her to feel better. And then this morning, I was making food for the potluck and getting ready for the potluck. So I don't think I've read anything since I talked to you guys. So I don't have any reading updates to give you aside from that. The books that I picked up, the books that I reserved from the library, and the books that I got introduced to from the Chicago Public Library list. So I'm going to go back because I promised you that I would finish up the list. Um, we got through the first 60 books on the list. So we're just going to run through, and I'm not going to do a synopsis like I did yesterday because that got to be really long. So I'll just tell you the other books that are on the list. And I'm going to tell you right now, I haven't read it. I haven't read any of them. I don't think so. I have a few of them. All right. So here's book number 61, Nesting by Royson O'Donnell. Okay. So brief synopsis. It is a novel about a woman in an abusive relationship, and she's trying to leave her abusive husband. Then there is No More Tears, The Dark Secrets of Johnson & Johnson, which talks a little bit about the controversy about those baby powder, the baby powder debacle of the 90s. And this was by Gardner Harris, who's a pharmaceutical reporter. I have a copy of that book. I just didn't get a chance to read it earlier this year. Then there is one, Yellow Eye by Lee Radford. This is about a zombie outbreak in London. Ordinary Love by Marie Rutkowski. And this is a novel about a woman who things seem to be going well for her, and then she gets in touch with her girlfriend from her childhood best friend, her childhood best friend who was more than just her friend. I haven't read any of those. Original Sins by Eve L. Ewing is about the miseducation of Black and Native children and the construction of American racism. This was a book I had intended to read earlier this year and didn't get to it. Perfection by Vincenzo Latronico. This is a novella that was shortlisted for the Booker International Prize, and it's about a couple, like a millennial couple, they work together, and they're married and they work together, and things start to get a little maybe too sticky. Then there's Play Nice by Rachel Harrison. This is a novel about a girl growing up and she thinks that her house is haunted. Poets Square is a memoir in 30 Cats. And so this is about someone who moves into a house and finds out that there are some feral cats, 30 feral cats living on the property. I haven't read any of these. The Possession of Alba Diaz by Isabel Cañas. This is a horror romance. That's a no for me. Raising Hair is a memoir by Chloe Dalton, and this is about someone who moves to the countryside during the pandemic, and she starts to, I guess, follow what's going on with a baby hare, a baby rabbit. Is a hare and a rabbit are the same thing? Not quite, right? Red Scare is subtitled Blacklists, McCarthyism, and the Making of Modern America. This is nonfiction by Clay Risen. Um, Replaceable You is another nonfiction. This is Adventures in Human Anatomy. This is science writer Mary Roach. The River Has Roots by Amal El Motar. This is a folktale. Folktale. I think are there stories? Ballads. They're ballads by Amal El Motar. I haven't read any of those. Salt Crop is a novel by Yume Kitase, and this is a um, novel about reflecting, I guess, reflections on the possibilities of Earth's future. I am not familiar with that book. I don't think I've ever seen mentioned or seen it anywhere. The Secret History of the Rape Kit. This is a true crime story by Pagan Kennedy. This is someone who was working at a Chicago helpline for teen runaways, and her recollections of stories of surviving sexual violence, generally sexual assault. So Far Gone is a novel by Jess Walters. Um, Main character in here is an environmental journalist. Someone is Walking on Your Grave. These are stories by Mariana Enriquez, subtitled My Cemetery Stories. A few days ago, I told you guys about Mariana Enriquez. She writes horror fiction. And most of the stories that I have read from her have been set in Central America or South America. I think South America. And I don't. I'm a little scared reading her stories. I don't think I'm going to be reading anything else from her. I don't think I can handle it. Spent is a comic novel by Alison Bechdel. She does graphic memoirs. I've read some things from her and enjoyed them, but I haven't seen this one before. Stag Dance is a novel and stories by Tori Peters. This is the author of Detransition Baby, which I read for BookTube Prize, but um, I haven't read this one. Stoneyard Devotional by Charlotte Wood. This is an atheist woman seeking retreat from the world in a convent and ends up living among nuns. Um, we're up to book number 80 on the list is Strange Pictures. This is a YouTuber called Uketsu. This is a Japanese mystery sensation centered around 9 different creepy pictures and the backstories behind each drawing. That's interesting. It's interesting because it's a concept of YouTube and print media. But I hadn't heard about this book before. The Summer War by Naomi Novich. In this novella from Novich, who is the author of Uprooted, a young girl unintentionally casts her first magic in a fit of pique, cursing her older brother. If you like those kinds of books, that's not mine. Sunburn is a novel by Chloe Michelle Howarth. It is 1990s in small town Ireland, and Lucy has a basic idea of what her life is going to be like. But then as she grows through her high school years, her expectancy of her life starts to change. So I guess more of a coming of age novel, Sunburn. Sweet Heat is a novel by Bolu Babalola. This is picking up 3 years after Babalola's Honey and Spice novel. So if you liked Honey and Spice, it's a sequel. The 10-Year Affair, a novel by Erin Summers. This is about a woman whose podcasts focuses on inane things like the history of rope. If you like books that have that kind of storyline, you may like this one. The next is a novel that I picked up yesterday when I went to the library. It is Theft by Abdul Razak Gurna. This is a Nobel Prize winning author for literature. He won the Nobel Prize in 2021. And so I had seen this on a list prior. And so I got this from the library yesterday. Of course, I haven't gotten to it yet. But Theft by Abdul Razak Gurna. This is telling the story of young people in post colonial Tanzania and following them through a period of decades. Theory and Practice is a novel by Michelle de Kretzer. This is another coming of age novel with a woman originally from Sri Lanka, and she is going to school in Australia in the 1980s. These Heathens is a novel by Mia Mackenzie, 1960s setting, and we have a woman who needs to go to a midwife, but she can't go to the midwife because her social circle is too tightly connected. Things in Nature Merely Grow. This is by Yi Yun Lee. We talked about this one a few days ago. This is a woman, the real life author has had two of her children, her two sons, have died by suicide. And these are her reflections on life in these books. So this is Things in Nature Merely Grow. And I haven't read that yet. I don't know. I don't know if I can. The Wayfinder by Adam Johnson. This is a novel about a girl from the remote Tongan island who becomes her people's queen. Does that sound like the plot of Moana? Because it does to me. We Do Not Part, a novel by Han Kang, a book that I intended to read earlier this year and haven't yet. The main character in this book is a writer living in Seoul. And I love Han Kang's work. So I will read this sometime soon. Maybe I'll get to it before the end of the year. I'd like to, if I could. We the People, A History of the U.S. Constitution by Jill Lepore. And in this one, Jill Lepore, who's a Harvard professor, she's explaining why in We the People, the most original history of the Constitution in decades, she is talking a little bit about how the Constitution's founding purpose was to prevent change. Interesting, interesting thesis. What We Can Know is a novel by Ian McEwan. Ian McEwan, that's the author of Atonement, right? I think so. I've read a few things from Ian McEwan, and I like his writing in some of those things. This one is this one is about, I guess, adult friendships. Love story about people and the words they leave behind. It's a literary detective story, is how the blurb describes it. Who is Government? The Untold Story of Public Service. This is essays examining the contributions of several government employees. While Dark Shore is showing up on a lot of people's lists. Charlotte McConaughey's novel, While Dark Shore. This is a natural world setting centering human grief and a changing world. The Wilderness is a novel by Angela Florno. I've seen this one making some rounds as well. This is about 5 Black women over the course of their 20-year friendship. I'd like to read that one at some point soon. Grady Hendrix has a novel on the list. It's called Witchcraft for Wayward Girls, set in the 1970s, summertime in Florida. And we have a 15-year-old girl coming into adulthood in an adult situation. Woodworking by Emily St. James. And this one is about Woodworking is about a woman who is a teacher, and she is, I guess, exploring coming out as a trans person. Y2K is subtitled How the 2000s Became Everything, Essays on the Future That Never Was. This is by Colette Shade, and she talks a little bit about the Y2K mania and what became of it and what didn't. You Weren't Meant to Be Human by Andrew Joseph White. And this is an alien story. And that's it. Those are the 100 books that are on the Chicago Public Library's Best of 2025 list. And I have read probably one, and I'm in the process of reading another one. Yeah. So that's how we're going to wrap this up. Emmy wants to know how long I'm going to be on here. This is it. This is it from me today. I have to run. I um I enjoyed spending some time with you this week. It's been a little bit of a different week. As much as I think that I am on a schedule, all the days, all the weeks are different. Next week, my daughter is home from school. She has the full week off for Thanksgiving. So I will try to come on sometime over the weekend to wish Emmy Katz, also known as Rumi24 Runwright Reads Girly, to wish her a happy birthday. I will try to come on sometime on Monday because that's what we do, lunchtime lives. But for a regular schedule next week, I'll probably only be on here on Monday and Tuesday because for the rest of the week we have family engagements related to Thanksgiving. So I might not see you much next week, but we'll come on whenever we can. And if I can't come on live, then I'll try to share some videos so you'll have something to watch. But thank you so much. Yeah. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for sharing your thoughts with me in the comments. If you're watching this later, I appreciate your coming on and spending some time with me here as well. And let me know what you've been reading. Let me know what you are up to, what books you have on your list, what books you have on your plans for the weekend coming up. And if you're celebrating Thanksgiving next week, if you're going to go see family or if you have family coming to see you, let me know what you're looking forward to. So thank you so much for being here. I'll see you in the next live. And until we come back, enjoy whatever you're doing. If you're reading, enjoy it. If you're watching videos, enjoy it. If you're working, if you're hanging out with your family, if you're exercising, whatever you're doing, enjoy it. But of course, because this is a bookish space, I'm still going to end with happy reading. Bye. Thank you so much. No, Emmy says it's not a holiday in your country. Yeah, it's not a holiday in Jamaica either, but we live here now. We live in the United States, so we celebrate. We look for it. We take every opportunity we have to celebrate. So thank you so much for coming. See you later. Bye. And I'm going to go start reading this book. I'm going to start reading this one because if I finish this today, then I can cross off another book. I can add another book to my count that Goodreads says I need to read and read quickly before it's time. Okay. Bye, guys. Happy reading.